Be sure with Pure. The Pure Oil Company again presents H.V. Kaltenborn. It's Scoop. In the newspaper world, it's the Scoop. The exclusive stories that make a good newspaper a great newspaper. Good reporters, star reporters. In the motoring world, it's the exclusive carbon-fighting chemical combination that makes solvanized Pure Pep, the solvanized local Pep, the outstanding stars among all the good gasolines on the market. Pure Oil scoops the field with this chemical combination that works as you drive to keep your motor cleaner and fresher. Better gasoline to begin with, Pure Oil's galvanized gasoline is still the only motor fuel with this exclusive extra to help rid your motor of excess carbon and bring out its pickup, power, and performance. Yet for this extra benefit, you pay no extra money. Pure Oil's galvanized Pure Pep and local Pep sell at the price of regular. Doesn't that make sense to you as another reason to buy this gasoline? Just as 2 and 2 make 4, good gasoline plus something extra means more value for your gasoline money. The way to prove it is to try it in your own car. Now, Kaltenborn edits the news.
Good evening, everybody. I have come to Washington to see the start of the new Congress tomorrow and on Monday, when it will be addressed by the President. The House of Representatives of the 76th Congress wound up its business today. The Senate will meet again tomorrow morning, establishing a record session of 367 days. The new Congress will probably spend $10 billion for defense and will impose record taxes and do other things to prevent inflation. Speaker Rayburn and Representative McConnell, the majority leader of the House, conferred with the President today, and the President outlined to them the message he will deliver in person on Monday. And when Speaker Rayburn tells us, as he does, that this message will be very interesting, we can easily believe him. It will outline the President's plan to lend and lease raw materials to Britain, in addition to many other interesting subjects. 4 projects totaling $70 million were announced today by the War Department. The significant thing about all 4 is that each one provides not for manufacturing raw material, but once completed, these plant extensions will provide for an enormous increase in our capacity to produce airplane engines, frames, and superchargers. The dominant purpose in Washington today is to speed production. Everyone here seems to feel the need for speed. And while there is a limit to what we can produce during the next 6 months, we are rapidly expending the limits of what we can produce during the 6 months after that. But why should Hitler wait with his all-out efforts until the United States has reached the point of full production? More and more people in Washington are beginning to feel that the lease and blend policy must be applied to war material now on hand. They believe that the planes, destroyers, and merchant ships we let Britain have between now and May will be more important than all those we manufacture for her during the balance of the year. I had an opportunity today to discuss America's foreign policy with one of the men who helped make it. There are only half a dozen men in Washington who occupy key positions in foreign affairs. At the present time, they are working together much more closely than is necessary in the fighting times of peace. And I won't quote to you exactly what one of these 6 men said, because I believe it gives a fair idea of the general administration attitude. I am neither an isolationist nor an interventionist. I believe in giving all help to Britain that can be justified under the rules of international law or an observance of sound conduct in relations among nations. We cannot violate the rules of decency among nations as the Axis powers have done. As to how much we can give in planes, destroyers, war materials, without jeopardizing the interests of the United States and of our own defense, I don't know. I will allow myself to be guided by the opinions of the military experts. They know, and I do not. As for credit, I believe we must help Britain whether she can or cannot pay for that aid. We cannot wait until Britain's cash and security resources are exhausted. She must be able to make commitments long in advance. I do not favor repeal of the Neutrality Act or of the Johnson Act, although the two are not exactly on the same footing. The essential thing for us is to keep our policy flexible. We must be in a position to respond to new developments. One thing is certain. We cannot permit threats on the part of the Axis powers to influence our policy. We should not do anything that would justify them in declaring war on us. But we should not be deterred from doing what we think right by the fear that they might declare war on us. And we must follow a firm policy towards Japan as well as towards Germany and Italy. We cannot permit Japan to move towards Singapore or the Dutch East Indies without taking immediate retaliatory action. And we must continue to help China with loans and missions. But fundamentally, our peace and our well-being will depend on the state of our defense. I don't see any danger of military invasion for our generation or the next. But I do see danger of a situation so difficult that in time we would prefer open war to the continuation of a precarious peace. The next 4 months will bring important new developments. We must be ready to meet them as they arise. And for the moment, our best hope of peace lies in what American industry can produce. There is one thing on which I am disappointed. We really know comparatively little of what is actually going on in Europe in a political or military way. Censorship hides much. I sometimes wonder if it doesn't hide more than it ought to be permitted to hide to our eyes. Thus speaks a key man in the administration intimately related to the conduct of our foreign affairs. William Allen White resigned today as active chairman of the Committee to Defend America by aiding the Allies. Many people believe that Mr. White resigns because he does not want to go quite as far in helping the Allies as some of the other members of his committee. He's not wished the United States to send American merchant ships or warships into the war zone. He is primarily concerned with keeping America out of war. Some members of his committee are urging American naval convoys to make sure that American supplies reach British ports. The question is still academic because there is no evidence that this administration is proposing convoy supplies halfway or all the way across the Atlantic. Bombs are once more falling on neutral Ireland tonight. Several were dropped in County Wexford, 60 miles from Dublin, and magnetic mines were dropped in Irish waters this morning. 5 Irish areas were bombed last night with explosive and incendiary bombs. The Irish Department of Defense announces that one of the bombs bore German machines. 3 Irish civilians were killed and a number were injured. German bombers raided Liverpool last night, and it is possible that some of them lost their way and thought that they were dropping bombs on England. It is hard to see what the Germans would gain from a deliberate attack on Ireland. If Ireland is to be bombed anyhow, she may decide to let Britain use her port as basis, and that would be an enormous help to British defense against submarine attacks. The German government has already apologized for previous attacks on Ireland. This is the 6th time Ireland has been bombed. The British have just imposed a licensing system on Irish exports, and this makes Ireland completely dependent on Britain for her economic life. The first official admission of German help in Italy today. Rome announces the arrival of German skins and fighters. Their purpose, as stated in Italy's official statement, is to help in the Hitler-era naval fight now developing in the Mediterranean basin. Unquote. The chief of the Italian Air Force says the German fighters should be regarded as a great Italian unit. At the same time, Rome announces that the Italian Air Force sent to help Germany defeat England has been recalled. The reason is obvious. The British shot down the Italians at the rate of 5 to 1 every time they caught up with them. They made no effective contribution to German attack. Their presence was a moral gesture to demonstrate the solidarity of the Axis. But the Italians were so ineffective as a fighting force that the Germans are probably glad to get rid of them. Now Germans are coming to the aid of the sorely pressed Italians in Albania and perhaps in Libya. It is a fate destined to spare, and she is not interested in winning Italy's war. Germany wants to defeat England, not Britain. Essentially, the transfer of Italian fighters from the Channel port back to Italy and the German flyers into Italy is a confession of weakness. It demonstrates the rapid deterioration of Italy's position. It represents Italy's humiliating admission that Churchill was right when he told the Italian people the other day that Mussolini would soon have to call the forces of Attila and Nazi Gestapo across the Alps to take over Italy. Bulgaria stands ready tonight to accept the Nazi invasion without resistance. This was announced in Sofia today by a high Bulgarian official. He told the press that if Germany demands the right to send troops across Bulgaria, the government must consent. The chances are that Germany has already confronted the Sofia government with an ultimatum. The Bulgarian premier arrived in Vienna tonight, ostensibly for his health, but it seems more likely that his trip to Vienna is in the interest of his country's health. With Turks, Greeks, and Germans mobilized on all three of her frontiers, Bulgaria has been in a state of failing political health for some time. And since the Germans have poured an army of 500,000 men into Romania, the German invasion of Greece by way of Bulgaria was just a matter of time. Germany has not declared war on Greece only because she was not ready to invade Greece. Now she is rapidly getting ready. Germany's minister in Athens is said to have delivered a note to the Greek government today. The time has also come to deliver the usual ultimatum to Bulgaria. While he is in Vienna, Premier Philip will be told what is expected of his country. What will Bulgaria do? There is nothing much that it can do. The only country that could persuade Bulgaria to stay neutral is Soviet Russia, and the only persuasion that could count with Bulgaria is an ultimatum from Stalin to Hitler that he would fight Bulgaria's side in case Germany invades. Stalin wants to stay neutral and will not send such an ultimatum. Russia has undoubtedly suggested to Germany that she would dislike to see Bulgaria invaded, but Germany will reply that she has the greatest respect for Bulgarian independence and only intends a peaceful passage through Bulgaria en route to Greece. But there is also Turkey. Facts have indicated more and more definitely that if Bulgaria is invaded by the Germans in an attack on Greece, they will enter the war on the side of Greece. And so, Germany's move in the direction of Greece and Bulgaria may set the Balkans aflame. Good night.
What do you want when you buy gasoline for your car? First of all, you want good gasoline. You can get it in a number of different brands. As a matter of fact, several of the leading brands of gasoline on the market today are actually superior to any gasoline available 10 years ago, including fighting aviation grade. Pure Oil has no corner on selling good gasoline, but Pure Oil's chemists and engineers have never been satisfied just to make our gasoline good. They've gone further than that. They start with good gasoline and add to it Pure Oil's special chemical combination to reduce excess carbon formation in your motor. The gasoline with this chemical bonus is Kaltenborn's Pure Pep, or Kaltenborn's Evoke Pep. It is the only gasoline with this exclusive feature. It costs no more than regular. If you believe in common sense gasoline buying, this is a gasoline for you. Just as surely as 2 and 2 make 4, a good gasoline plus something extra equals greater gasoline value for your money. Try it and see for yourself. Get it at the stations with the big blue and white Pure Oil sign. Don't forget H.V. Kaltenborn Saturday. Same time, same station. Be sure it's pure. Gene Hamilton speaking. This is the National Broadcasting Company.